Welcome to the Rubik's Cube solving video. If you have ever wondered if you could solve a Rubik's Cube, then this video will be definitely helpful to learn how quickly and easily you can solve the Rubik's Cube. Although solving Rubik's Cube might look complex, there are different methods and techniques in which you can solve it easily. There are beginners method and advanced methods to solve it, and in this video I'm going to teach you the beginners method on how you can solve a cube layer by layer or by step approach of how you can solve it quickly and easily. Let's get into the video. So before we start solving the cube layer by layer, there are two important techniques that I'm going to teach you, which is very essential, and you have to keep on practicing these two techniques, and that will be really helpful to solve the cube in a quicker way. So the first technique is with your right hand, and the technique is, so the cube is like this. So it's right up, right top, right down, and then left top. So I'm going to repeat it: right top, right top, right down, and left top. So keep practicing this with your right hand, and similarly there is a move with your left hand, the same 4 steps, and it's like left up, left top, left down, and right top. I'm going to repeat it: left top, left top, left down, and then right. So these are the two moves which will be applied more frequently, and you'll be able to solve the cube very quickly. We are going to solve the cube step by step. So the cube is like this. So here there are different sides, and we start the cube solving by going with the white color. So here in this cube it's written as Rubik's, and the white color. So we start with this white color to form a white cross in the step 1. So the cross is like a plus sign, and in the cross we will bring the white colors in the the middle blocks as the white, which is upward facing. So that's what we're gonna do, and the technique for doing that is, for the first thing that you have to do is you look at the direct opposite facing of the cube, and it is an yellow color in this cube. So it could be any color in different cubes. So essentially you take the opposite side, and then you look out for the center blocks with a white. So sometimes it will be directly facing downwards, as in this example that you see, with an orange as an adjacent and white downward facing. But in some cases what happens is this white goes in the the adjacent or in the sides. So these are the only 2 scenarios that can happen, and for each of these scenarios you can apply it in a different way. So the first thing, in this scenario, we'll look at the first case. So here if you look at it, there is an orange. So what you have to do is you bring this to first of the orange center. So this orange center, you make it directly to the color, and then you move this cube 180 degree like this. So what happens is you get a center white, and then there is an orange and orange matching. So like that you have to solve these 4 sides. So now let's go to the next one. So if I look at the opposite one, here I don't have any center block with the white, either in the downward facing or in the side. So what I do is I go and look out from the other blocks. So here if you look at it, in this direction there is a green, and then there is a white. So what I do is first I bring it to the downward, so that it is directly like upwards, it is directly opposite, and then again you do the same rule. So you move it to the green center block. So now you do the same thing, move it 190 degree, and then you get the green one. So now we have made an orange and then we made a green. So here if you look at it, in this case there is a red and there is a blue which is not in the correct position. So what you have to do is first you bring it down, you make it directly opposite to the white, and then you do the same rule. You first bring it to the red and then you move it to the 180 degree. So now we have only one block to be solved. So this is a blue and then a blue. So here if I look at it, it's directly having, so I just move it like this and then you form a white cross. In step 1, the second scenario that I talked about is having a white color in the sides and not directly downwards facing. So I have the cube like this, the white color here, and then if I look at it in the direct opposite, there is a white and a green color where the white is not downwards facing. So in this scenario, what you have to do is first you have to bring it to the respective color. So in this case it is the green color, and then you do a 180 degree rotation as I described earlier. And after doing this, now you have to interchange this white and the green color. So essentially this white has to come here to form the white cross. So what we are going to do is a technique which goes like this. So first you move the cube 90 degree right, and then the top again 90 degree this left, then again you move this cube to here, so which is 90 degree upwards, and then a left to bring this. So now you have formed one of the corners for the white cross. So now we are going to do the step 2. So in the step 1 we have formed a white cross like this. Now in step 2 what we are going to do is make these corners white. So essentially this side is going to be completely white. So to do that we're going to follow a technique. We're going to use the two techniques that I had taught you, which is to do with the right and your left hand. So for this step 2, what you have to do is first you look at the direct opposite facing of the white, which is yellow in this case. So what you do is you find the corner blocks which is having a white. So in this case I have three blocks which is either directly upwards facing or in the sidewards facing. So what you have to do is first you find these colors. So this is a blue and an orange. So what you do is you move to the position where you actually find the blue and orange in the center pieces. So for example in this case like this. So if you look at it, there is a blue here and there is an orange here. So this blue and orange goes here, so that what happens is this block has to interchange here, and that's what we're gonna do. So in this case, since it's in the right, we do the right move. So what happens is once you do this 4 steps, sometimes it solves within one time itself, but in some cases you have to do it multiple times. So let us do it. So 1 2 3 4. So it's not yet solved, so I'm gonna repeat it. 3 4 1 2 4. So it's essentially in the 5th time it's now solved. So if you look at it, this corner block has been introduced. So like that, now we go with the next block. So here it's a blue and a red. So I take it to the blue and the red, and then I do the 4 steps. So it's not at solved. Yeah, so now it's solved. So again you do it for the green and orange. Yeah, so now it's solved. So now I have the last piece, so I have to move it here. So in this case we moved it here, but it's in the left side, so I'm going to do the left move. So the same 4 steps. And here you go. So now you see the white corners have been solved and this white side is solved. So we are going to do the step 3 now. So in the step 2 we have formed white corners and we have solved the white cross as well. So this entire side is white. Now in the step 2 we are going to solve the layers, the second layer, which is we are going to bring these 2 rows to be of the same color in all these 4 sides. And to do that we're going to follow a technique. So the technique is you find the colors which is not having the yellow color, the center blocks which is not at all yellow. So if you look at it in this cube, so there is a block here which has an yellow which has to come up and this has to go here. So if you do that, it will solve the bottom 2 rows automatically. So in order to do that, what we are going to do is first you have an orange and a green block. So first you move it to the green color. So you bring it to the color so that it is together. And once you do this, now this is a technique that you're going to follow. So what you have to do is you find the adjacent color, which is orange here, and there is a orange in the side. So you move this cube, the top layer of the cube, directly opposite to orange with your right hand. So in this case, you do it with your right hand. But if it is going to be, in this side, you do it with the left hand. And after doing this, since you have done it with the right hand, you do the right 4 moves. 1, 2, 3, 4. And after you do this, you immediately do the left 4 moves. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what happens is this block is now gone and there is a yellow that has come up. Now again you try to do this for the other cubes which does not have an yellow color. So here in this case we have a green and a red. So move it to the red first. Then I find a green in the right. So I move it to the right, the opposite direction, and I do the right 4 moves, and then I do the left 4 moves immediately. So now if you look at it, it's almost solved, but there is one block which is interchanged. So what you have to do is first you bring this block, you follow the right move, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now if you look at it, again I have to repeat the 4 steps, with the left hand as well. So now if you look at it, that block has changed, but still you have the center block to be solved. So here you go and then you do with your right hand opposite direction, do the 4 moves and then the 4 moves. So now if you look at it, the entire rows are solved. So in the same step, there could be another scenario where you have to do it with the left hand. So like this case, so now I find blue and red. So first I move it to the red, and then if you look at it, I have my blue color in the left hand side. So there is a yellow block here. So now we are gonna bring that yellow block to the top. So what we have to do is first you follow the technique. So how you have to do is first you move this blue to the opposite direction, and then you do it with your left hand, and then immediately right. So if you look at it now, the cube is solved. So now we are going to do the step 4. So in the step 4, we're going to form a yellow cross. So this step is a little special, where you can find the yellow blocks in different situations. So one is, there could be an yellow dot, which is like a very it's only one single block, or you could find a scenario where you have a block like this, like an inverted L, or it could be a horizontal block like this. And finally at the fourth step, you will find a cross. So this yellow block can come in either of these 4 scenarios. You don't have to worry about the the other blocks. It will even if you have the other blocks, it is fine, unless and until you form an a cross like this. So in this case, it's not a cross yet. So but it's actually in the it's in a stage where above the yellow single dot. So what we are going to do is, first we are going to follow a technique. The technique is, you move your front facing cube to 90 degrees first. Then you do the 4 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what you do is, you bring this front face back to it. So then you form the yellow cross. So if you are with a single dot, you might have to do the same step repeatedly, and finally you will get an yellow cross, and this step will be done. So in solving the yellow cross, this is one typical scenario where you have the yellow blocks like this. So the way you have to solve this is, first you look at this like an inverted L. You don't have to worry about this block. So if you encounter this situation, you first move this block like this, move it 180 degrees. So you bring it here so that it forms an inverted L like this. So once you do this, you repeat the step that I have taught you. So move it to the front, and then move it around. You do the 4 steps, and then you bring it back. So now you have the horizontal. So now again, if you have to bring an yellow cross, so you do this like this. And then you have an yellow cross. So we're going to do the step 5 now. So in this step, you should align these colors, the center blocks, with their respective center blocks here. So in this case, blue to blue, orange to orange. But here, if you see, it is a red to green, and there is a green to red. So these blocks have to be interchanged now. So what happens is, sometimes you will find a scenario like 2 blocks solved with this pattern, but these 2 blocks are not solved. But in some cases, even all 4 sides will not be solved or matching with their center blocks. So what you have to do is, in that case, you do the step that I'm going to teach. You can do it repeatedly, and you'll be able to interchange. So this step is essentially, you have to hold the cube in this way, so that you have to interchange the blocks between here and here. So this red goes to green, and green comes here. So the step is like this. So you move the cube right up, and then right, then you move this back, and then you move it again a 90 degree. Then you move this back again here, like you can see these 2 whites. Then you bring it back again here. And now if you try to align, you will see that these colors are aligned. So you have a green to green, red to red, blue to blue, and then orange to orange. So we're gonna see the step 6 now. In the steps 6, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring these 4 blocks to their right colors. So what it means is I have a blue and an orange. So essentially it has to be between a blue center block and an orange center block. But in this case, it is between a blue and a red center block. So you don't have to move the cube at all. You keep the cube as it is, but we'll follow a technique. So first, what you have to do is you see if any of these sides is solved properly. So here in this case, there is a red and a green. So there is a red and a green, and this block is in the right position. But the other 3 blocks are in the wrong positions. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna align it. You have to repeat the step until these blocks are aligned properly. And whichever block is solved, you take it to the right hand like this, and then you do the step. Just in case if you don't find all 4 of the corners to be different position, then you can hold any part of the cube and then do the step. So let's do this now for this step. So the technique is like this. So you do right top, right up, left top, left up, right top, right down, left top, and then a left top. So now if you see the red and the green is solved, so the green and orange is not yet solved. Again, this is not solved and this is not solved. So we do this step again. So now if you see, it's solved. So we are in the step 7, or the final step of solving the cube. So in this step, I'm going to teach a technique which again you have to follow. You can do it once or multiple times to solve the cube. So to start with, what you have to do is you find the yellow block, which is the sides, which is not like upwards facing like the other blocks. You find a block like this, and then you have it in the right corner. So in this case, we have 2 blocks like that which don't face upwards. So our objective is to have all these colors to be yellow. So first you bring this to here if it is somewhere else, and then you do this 4 steps that I'm going to teach you. So the technique is like this. So you do a right down, left bottom, right up, and then right bottom. So sometimes in doing once it will solve the the yellow block, but you have to do it multiple times if it's not solving. So I'm doing it here. So now in the second step, it's solved now. So now what we have to do is we bring this yellow block to here. So it's like this. You bring it to the corner, and then you do this step again. And here you go, the cube is solved. Thanks for watching the video. I hope the video was helpful, and you can keep practicing these techniques that I had taught you, and you'll be able to quickly solve it in minutes. And even I had the same problem when I started learning the cube. I had to do it for hours and hours, but practicing these techniques, I was able to solve in less than 2 minutes. So I hope you'll be able to learn these techniques. If there are any questions, you can comment, and I'll be able to answer your queries. Thank you. Thanks again.